What's up, everyone? Wanted to do a quick video talking about the new mage that just came out, and then I have some thoughts on the current event, and I want to make a little comparison more for the devs to hear. But let's first talk about the new character. So let me go ahead and pull up the gotcha. I basically did a little bit of the step up, didn't get her, so I'm not going to be doing any kind of showcase or anything, and I'm not spending any more resources to get the character. But let's talk about it. All right, so this is one of the three sages. This is the second of the three sages that we've ever got. The first one was Dine, who was like a very early character in Last Cloudia, and even when he first dropped, I didn't think much of him. To be real, like I just wasn't impressed. There were just better mages out there. But as far as this particular character, one, it's taken a long time for us to get another three sages, like basically 5 years. So that's interesting. But I like the character's design and all that stuff. I think she's pretty cool. And as a mage, she's definitely different than what we would normally get. Because lately, the mages that we normally get are like really high DPS, but not a whole lot of anything else. This character is like mid DPS with some crowd control. Now I don't care about her skills and all that. None of that really matters to me because if I were to pull her, I would just use her as a mage. That's really it. The main thing that she specializes in is doing three things: a chance to stun, a chance to make an enemy faint, and a chance to break up an enemy, like break a boss, for example. Those are the main things she specializes. I want to talk about the stun thing first because that automatically jumps out to me because this was an old school PvP strat where you would use a mage that would have like lightning gauge, and you would use the rare arc that gave your lightning spells a chance to stun the enemy. That's basically what that is in this character. So now, if you have her and you want to do those strats, you don't need to use that rare arc. You can just use a better arc with better stats and still be able to be, to do that particular strat more consistently. So I think that gives her a little bit of extra oomph if you're into the whole like give someone stun an arena type thing. Like I think that's something that would be interesting to try. I'm not saying it's going to be good or anything because a lot of people just build for resistances, but for those who just don't build for resistance at all, like that could really turn the tide in an arena fight for sure. So I think that there's some potential with that alone. As far as Fate is concerned, well, let me say this: the chances of an enemy getting a feint or a stun, I'm sure, is extremely low. Anytime Last Claudia says a chance for something to happen, as I always say, just assume it will never happen because it's usually extremely low. Nothing really to get excited about. I'm just more or less talking best case scenario potential. Now, as far as fainting, I like the fact that she could potentially do that too because it's very hard to protect from feint. There's like one accessory in the game that's from a collab, by the way, that can completely make yourself immune to feint. Outside of that, the best thing you can do to defend against it is run like a feint resistance passive, which does exist, but it's only a resistance. It doesn't make it to where it'll never happen. It just lowers your chances of getting feinted. But because there's so little to stop against fainting, that also gives her some potential in a PvP scenario. Because not only now do you have a chance to stun, which can be defended against, you also have a chance to feint the enemies, which they're not going to be able to defend against, at least not with their entire team. So that is a lot of potential right there, assuming that it actually works consistently. Like, I think that's pretty cool. As far as breaking is concerned, I'm going to be honest, I could care less. Now, what I'll say is if you have a team that's specifically for breaking, let's say you use her, that new dragon guy arc, and let's say, I don't know, like Shift Zex. If you put like all the faint people on a team, I think this character is going to be amazing because the whole point is to put them in the break and then you can deal more damage when they are in break. So if you're building a break team and you're into that stuff, I think that's really, really cool because that's honestly where she shines in the PvE scenario is when you have broken the boss. The only reason that I don't particularly care about breaking is that the break mechanic in this game doesn't really have a lot of like I don't know. It doesn't really do anything special to me. Like one, we have bosses with HP locks, so if you break a boss, but their HP can't, but you can't drain their HP at all because it's locked out, you basically just wasted a break, which just does nothing for you. All that extra damage you would normally deal would mean nothing. There are also certain bosses that are heavily resistant to breaks, so you might not even be able to break them anyway. But unless you have like the right element. But either way, the idea is interesting. I'll say that much. But the break mechanic in Last Cloudia is nothing special. It doesn't really do a whole lot for you unless you're building a specific team for break. And that's what it boils down to. So in a PVE scenario, I would only use her if you have a break team. And as far as I think she has better potential in PvP than PvE because of that. Because I don't know if everybody likes breaking bosses and stuff like that. I think a lot of people just prefer to do as much damage as they can without having to rely on break, which is why I'm not super excited about that part. But I do think the fact that she stuns and faints, it gives her some big PvP potential, and that's what I like about her the most. But that's basically the gist of what she does. But I do want to say some other positive things about her because I think, despite the fact that for PVE it's reliant to do a break thing, she does have other things that are kind of cool. For example, her thunder attacks have a chance to do like a pursuit. So any kind of character that could potentially do pursuits, I think, has a lot of potential. So I think that her having that in her one of her traits is kind of cool as well. So there are some good things about her. Um, and that's really it for the most part. Like she has a lot of good like passives in terms of like thunder damage. She has her own unique spell in Spiral Bolt. So like I said, she has stuff going for her. She also has Brute Geyser, so she's gonna be good at clearing out mobs. So that's kind of cool too. So like I said, she's not a bad unit to have. Like I said, I tried to pull for her, and I didn't get her, but I am being critical because there are just certain things that need to be said. But overall, if you do pull her, I think she's a decent mage. Just understand if you're the kind of person that's like a meta slave and wants to deal the optimal amount of damage, you're probably going to want to build a break team with her to unlock her full potential. And as far as PvP, though, I think there's also some potential, but it's kind of difficult to say because I can't test it. I don't have her. So, but I think there's definitely some potential. So overall, I think she's a decent character, which is why I try to pull for her. I like mages in general, so the fact that we actually have like a thunder mage, which is something we haven't had in a long time. I think the last legit thunder mage we had was Guardian Angel Lucio. And let's be real, who is really using her for a thunder magic? We were actually just spamming her special to spam her skills over and over and over. Like she wasn't really being used as a thunder mage. So that was a little disappointing in that aspect. So this is kind of our first true thunder mage. So that's kind of cool. I'm trying to think, do we have any other like pure thunder mages? I don't remember anymore. But it's nice that we actually have a pure thunder mage now. So I'll say that much. And I guess we can quickly talk about the arc. I really haven't looked at it much. Basically, it just gives you some damage to some of the basic elements that the game has, like the basic four. So that's kind of cool. And if you have multiple sorcerers on a team, or if you run like Mimicry Sorcerer, that can, add some more damage and stuff like that. So, that's pretty cool. As far as the learnables, Soldier Geyser is kind of good if you're doing like PvP stuff. So I do think that's pretty cool. I don't know how I feel about defensive casting, to be honest. I don't know. I just don't know if this is really necessary. So I'm probably going to say, nothing special. I mean, Thunder Boost, you can find other arcs. And then Thunder Rush is the other unique skill. If you're the kind of person that likes to, rely on getting multiple hits, this increases the damage cap that you could deal. I don't know if I'd ever use that, but it's there if you're interested in that. But the arc's okay overall. As far as the ether reward, You get a thunder staff, so that actually fits the character that this banner is on, which I appreciate because a lot of times we'll get a banner that has a weapon that has nothing to do with the character that the banner's for. So I'm glad that they at least did a matching thing here. And the stats are actually decent for a 6-star. Really good intelligence with good mind and a little bit of MP with the correct element. I think this is actually pretty solid. As far as the trade itself, it's just more damage and damage cap, which is not fine, you know. But I actually like this particular weapon because it matches the character and the stats are actually decent. So this is one of the few times I'll say that the AAR is actually good. So overall, this is a decent arc, but I don't have a whole lot to say about it. It's pretty decent. Let's talk about the event real quick. There's a point that I want to make. And I've never really talked about this particular type of event, but in this event, you have your regular do your stages over and over, but you have this thing called evacuation, or not evacuation, I can't freaking read, excavation, where basically you just have to like kind of like, you know, knock on these little bricks to uncover treasure, right? Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because this is a missed opportunity in the recent collab. Think of it this way. Remember how I said that there was nothing special with the event itself during the Overlord collab, and I wish they would have done something else? This is the something else they could have done that would have made the event more interesting. Because anyone who's watched the anime, which I've watched the first 2 seasons, and it's an excellent anime, by the way, imagine if during the collab, they would have did the same thing they normally did, except add the excavation thing saying, we're going to raid the Tomb of Nazarick. And you would do this, and you would hit these blocks, and you would get rewards, like maybe special collab gear, along with, you know, this normal Last Cloudia stuff that you can get. Because you mind if they added this to the actual collab event? That would have actually made the event interesting. It would have matched the anime to some degree, and you would have used a Last Cloudia mechanic to incorporate it, so it wasn't just the same old boring, repeat the same levels with nothing interesting to do. This would have made my rating of that event from a 6 to like maybe an 8. You know what I mean? Because at least they tried something. They would have put some effort into it and been a little creative. But unfortunately, they overlooked something as simple as this. Like that's kind of the little rant I wanted to go on. They could have done something as little as this in the collab, and it would have made the event actually 10 times better. Like real talk. So I just wanted to bring that up as a missed opportunity that they could have easily capitalized on to make the previous event actually a lot better. It was really that simple. Like, I don't know. The fact, like, had they not added this excavation quest to this current event, I would have never thought of this, to be honest. But yeah, that was a huge missed opportunity from the Overlord collab. Well, I think that's it. I think I'm done ranting now. I just wanted to share my thoughts, and maybe this could be just something for the devs to consider in future collabs. Like, if you don't have anything special planned, just try to take a few hours to think about, okay, what can we do that we normally have in our other events that we can incorporate and then kind of make something that would correlate with the anime itself. And, you know, don't have a missed opportunity like that. Like, you don't have to go super hard, but you can add something to the event to make it better. I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting at here. All right, I thought I was done, but I guess I wasn't. But now I'm done. Thanks for watching.